Hey, welcome back to the Million Dollar Body Podcast, the intersection of physical success, time, freedom, and adventure. I'm Nate Palmer. Have you ever felt like you've been dieting for a while, but aren't seeing the results you expected? Or that you got really great results early on, but the last 20 to 30 pounds is a lot more difficult? If so, you're going to definitely want to check this out. You're going to definitely want to tune in because I want to share with you how to double your rate of fat loss by doing less, by being less focused, less disciplined, eating more, less training. If that sounds crazy, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you why it makes sense and how you can do it effectively. And here's kind of where this came from is over the last few weeks, I've actually seen my body fat percentage decrease and my muscle mass increase during the holidays, a time when I'll be honest with you, not being super careful. I was eating a lot more ice cream sandwiches at night. Obviously Thanksgiving, I was eating a lot of leftovers. I've eaten out a lot more. I just got back from a vacation with my wife's family in Dallas. And so, kind of eating at someone else's house, just eating whatever was available. I'll say this on Sunday night, I ate 4 fried chickens, like chicken breasts. And that was just good. And I felt excellent the next day. And I think that this is a really important thing to think about, especially if you're someone who has been dieting for a while. Okay. And you are like, man, I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling plateaued. I'm only losing a tiny, tiny bit per week. It's like my weight kind of fluctuates up and down. I'm like, what should I do next? And if your answer is like, I'd like to gain some muscle, lose some fat, then you definitely want to check this out. So I've seen this myself with the holidays, and I've seen it a lot with clients recently as well. This is some stuff that I would have definitely, like 6 or 8 years ago, paid thousands of dollars to understand this information. I'm going to give this to you in a pretty short presentation masterclass right here. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. This is an amazing strategy also to use for the holidays or anytime where you're going to be away for a while out of your normal routine, because you can actually burn more fat and set yourself up for a faster metabolism in the future. So not only are you going to get results now, which I know we all like, I like results now. It's nice when people are like, oh yeah, you'll get results in the future. I was working with an advertising team and they were like, oh yeah, we got to do a lot of testing first. So I was like, great. And they're like, okay, we'll take your money. And I was like, okay, here's my money. And they're like, now you got to pay for the ads. And I was like, okay, I'll pay for the ads. And then I was like, great, I'm not getting any leads. And they're like, oh yeah, we have to wait. I was like, but what about the leads? What about the money I gave you? And they're like, oh no, we got to test it first. It's like, okay, I'll test it. Like a month goes by and I'm like, how are those leads coming? And they're like, yeah, testing going so good. By the way, we're gonna need some more money and some more money for ads. And I was like, okay, we can do that again. And I was like, what about the leads though? And they're like, oh no, we're setting it up. We're creating custom audiences. It's going to be so good in the future. And I just didn't have the tolerance for it. I didn't have the patience to go through the testing process. I want results now. And I know a lot of us also feel the same way in our businesses, with our bodies, et cetera. If we're doing work, I'd love to see results. So this is a cool way to get it done. So sometimes, and I'll tell you who this applies to and if you are in this boat or not, but it can be very helpful to take a break from dieting, doing heavy duty cardio and training a lot. And instead, eat more food, relax more, and train less. And I know this sounds crazy, but really hear me out on this one. Listen, because there's a lot of good value that I packed into this. I did a lot of research on this one. I wrote it all up on to make sure I'm covering all the things. So when you're tracking everything, if you're dieting for a long period of time, if you've been kind of in a caloric deficit, it's easy to burn out. And like once you're at 1,200 calories, like that's kind of like the number that they say tell women to go to. Women should be doing 1,200 calories. Men should be doing 1,500 calories. Once you get to those points, where can you go from there but up? You can't eat at 800 calories every single day. And you could, but you would feel horrible. You have no energy. You'd eventually, again, decrease your metabolism, start holding fat. It's just like, it's messy and no one wants to be there. So once you get down to like a lower calorie range, you don't want to just keep pulling calories out. That's why I think cutting calories is one of the last things you should do in terms of a fat loss routine. I just put out a video on YouTube about that. So here's the things that I've seen that cause people to struggle to lose their fat. And the first one's gonna maybe shock some of you, maybe not. Maybe you feel like, oh, this is me. This is exactly where I'm at right now. But number one, if you're always trying to lose weight, if you're always in a dieting mindset, if you're always trying to get on the scale, how am I doing? Track my calories here, do my fitness pal there, get on keto here. If you're always in that weight loss mindset, that can make it hard to lose weight long-term. You might need a little bit of a break. If you're obsessed about the scale, that can cause you to hold on to weight or keep from losing weight because it's going to spike your cortisol. Your stress levels get higher with a lot of these things. Dieting is a stressor. Training is a stressor. Stressing about the scale, ding, 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 that's a stressor too. So when you get to that point, when you've dropped your calories, you've been dieting, what happens is your metabolism adapts. You don't go into starvation mode. That's not really a thing. But what you can do is you can give your body the inputs that are incorrect for the outputs you're expecting. So if your inputs are always lots of cardio, doing an hour a day of cardio, training a lot, keeping your metabolism lower, like those are your inputs. The outputs you're going to get from that is your body being like, I guess we should probably hold on to some of this fat because we don't know when we're going to go on a long 45-minute, 60-minute like run or cardio session or elliptical or something like that. So we need to hold on to our stored fat so we don't burn any of that off. And your body's going to kind of use the food you ate already. Another reason why we don't want to snack too much. And then also it can actually start leaching from your muscles. You can pull from your muscles. Because like, think about it, where are you going to get better, more delicious calories from? Your amino acids, like the things that are the building blocks of your muscle, or fat cells. Sometimes if we're continuing to pound on the cardio, do HIIT training classes, really beat ourselves down with CrossFit, we can pull from our muscles and actually do the opposite of what we're looking to do because our inputs do not match our outputs. Doing too much cardio. I especially see this in runners. I see this a lot in runners where they'll be like, oh man, I've been running so much. I train every single day, but I can't get rid of this pooch. I can't get rid of my love handles. And by the way, my knees are killing me and it seems like my muscle mass is going down. And that's not what we want. I'm not a runner personally. I don't love running. So I don't do it. And if you don't love running either, and you want to get away from that but still lose fat, stay tuned. Listen up to this because it's really important. You do not need to run to lose fat. In fact, running is not the most conducive thing to fat loss at all. The other thing that people can do is, again, the HIIT classes, the CrossFit classes, the high stress, high energy beast mode classes. Maybe you're like, I don't do CrossFit, but you're in the gym going hard 5 days per week, taking pre-workouts, burning out your adrenal glands, just like putting your body through a high level of stress without having the baseline recovery to match it. Okay. This is all about. So any type of time where you're doing too much training, because most of the time people have this preconceived notion that, hey, I'm not losing fat. You know what I need to do is increase my training intensity and times I'm training. So I'm training 5 times per week. I'm not getting the results I want. I should probably train 7 times per week. I should do a 2-a-day program. I should get into X, Y, or Z thing. And most of the time, this is going to stress you out. It's going to increase your cortisol levels, the stress hormone. You're going to decrease your testosterone and growth hormone, and your body will actually try to conserve calories rather than burning stored fat. Okay. So if you found yourself at any of these boats where you're like, I don't know what else I can add in to get the results I'm looking for, this is for you. Sometimes the answer is not more extreme, it's less. Okay. And if you have 40 plus pounds to lose, most of the time being in a caloric deficit, eating the $1 million body method, doing just a little bit of cardio, that's going to get you where you want it to be, or at least get you down here. If you have 30 pounds to lose or less, this is a great fit. If you have 40 plus, you probably need to stay with what you're doing. Do your walks, hit the $1 million body method, eat the proteins and fats in the morning, proteins and vegetables for lunch, proteins, carbs, and veggies for dinner. That's going to get you to where you want to be, or at least closer before we have to adjust or tweak like this. However, this is a great time of year for this. So I want to make sure we're talking about it in case this is going to really help someone out, help someone in 2 ways. Number 1, get better results. Number 2, have a great Christmas. Have a great holiday season. Okay. So here's what you should do in this situation. Here's how to double your rate of fat loss, both in the moment and also as an investment for the future, increasing your metabolism, is eat with the higher calories for 3 weeks straight. I think 2 weeks is a little too little. 5 weeks, maybe a little too long. So kind of in that 3 to 4 week range, eat higher calories. Now, for some of us, that could be tracking our calories. And if you're like, oh, I've been eating 1,200, but I need to be eating more. And if you're in that camp, if you're tracking macros, you're tracking calories, I think that everyone should do this at least once. You can do it for a couple, 3 days. Tracking calories generally results in making better eating decisions. So when you're doing it, try to be as honest as possible. But what you're looking to do right here is look at your body weight and then multiply that number by 14. Again, if you're 250 pounds, you got 40 or more pounds to lose. This is probably not the right fit for you at the moment, but once you get a little bit lower, this is a great tool to have in your toolbox in your arsenal. like I said, I would have paid thousands of dollars for this information early in my career because I was always banging my head against a wall just with my own personal results as well as my clients. I just thought suffering was a part of the equation, and it's not. It doesn't have to be to get the results you're looking for. Eat with higher calories for about 3 weeks straight. Okay. That's where I'm at right now, about like the 2.5 week mark. I'll probably go another 2 weeks here just to kind of continue to get through the holidays. And be honest, I'm not super motivated to like diet or really cut my calories at the moment. So I'll probably take this to about 5 weeks. What you're going to do then is you're going to train less, train 2 to 3 times per week. That's it. If you're going to train twice a week, do 2 full body days. If you're going to train 3 times a week, what I love to do is do an upper, lower, upper, and then the next week do a lower, upper, lower. So kind of like an A, B, A, B, A, B type of workout on that. If you have any questions on that, drop those here. Shoot me an email, nate@n8trainingsystems.com if you're listening to the podcast. Then afterwards, after about those 3 weeks, then we'll cut back down and get more dialed in with your $1 million body method. Focus on those specific meals that we have laid out. And if you haven't checked it out yet, $1 Million Body Method, it's all laid out in the book. So you can check out the book. I'm giving it away for free. We just hit 50 reviews. Thank you guys so much for being a part of that. And so what I wanted to do is give away the book as a thank you for being able to get to 50 reviews on Amazon. So if you go to n8trainingsystems.com/book, you'll be able to download a Kindle version or a PDF version that I'll just shoot to you in an email. So check that out. Go get that because it's all laid out in there. And so when you finish the 3 weeks of lower intensity, more time with people, more time with friends, more holiday eating, more drinks, that sort of thing, this is a great next step for you. And that's again why I was offering free training in December, because I wanted to help people kind of get through December and then start back hard with it in January. So I have one more spot left for that. If you wanted to check that out, go to I'll put a link in the show notes, but it'll be calendly.com/n8training/strategy. And we can see if this is a good fit, right time for you. But one more spot left if you wanted to qualify for that free month of training in December. So after the 3 weeks, you're getting more dialed in with the $1 Million Body Method. You're feeling better. You're actually going to start seeing better results because your metabolism has been elevated through the process of eating more food, eating kind of at maintenance or a little bit above that. And then now, so like, here's how the science works is that, let's say you've been eating at 1,500 calories for the last 3 months or so, and your body will stop doing a lot of things. So like if you're a toe tapper, your body will stop that. And it's not like your metabolism is decreasing, but it's a lot of it that's NEAT, the non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the walking, the scooting around, the tapping your toes, like the fidgeting, all those things decrease until your body is able to adapt to that metabolic decrease. As you elevate those calories again, you go from, let's say, 180-pound guy, you're eating 14 calories a day, or 14 calories times your body weight. You're talking about 2,500 calories there. So you've now increased that by 1,000 per day. You're going to have more energy. Your metabolism is going to go increase. You're going to want to move more. You're going to want to exercise more. You're going to feel a lot better physically, mentally, emotionally. And your metabolism is actually going to increase. Then once you cut back down, go back to the $1 Million Body, be a little bit more regimented, especially with the front end of the day, the breakfast and lunches. Your body will respond by having your metabolism actually elevated, so you burn more fat in that moment. I also promise that you get results now, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Then what you can do is you can use this same style, the same tool here to like next time you hit a plateau in 4 to 6 months. So I wouldn't do it any closer than 4 months. 6 months seems to be kind of an ideal time to use this in between, especially if you're hitting a plateau and you're not just seeing that steady progress you're looking for. It's really, really nice, especially with like when you did it at 180 pounds, you diet down to 170 pounds. Now you do it again at 170 pounds body weight. And that's going to be a great tool in your arsenal and a great way to kind of take a break. You shouldn't be dieting all the time. Like that's hard on your body, hard on your brain. You don't need that. So here's the fix for that. Now, here's why this works. And because most people during this 3-week period, especially if you're coming into it from like a dieting background, they will experience fat loss and muscle gain during this period of time. It's because your cortisol levels are massively decreased. Constant dieting keeps them high. Cortisol levels being decreases the insulin jump from eating food. It decreases fat storage in the belly. And that cortisol is not bad, but elevated cortisol for a long period of time from extreme dieting, intermittent fasting, hardcore training can be negative long-term. What happens is your testosterone levels will come up. Man, this is really, really important, especially since we are like half the men that our grandparents were. Having higher testosterone levels can lead to better mood, better energy, better muscle tone, lower fat, better sex, just better libido, everything else in between. Your metabolism, like I said, goes up. So if your metabolism is operating at like 1,800 calories and then you start eating, excuse me, at like 2,500 calories, your metabolism might be closer to like that 2,200 mark when you go back to it, making it very easy to lose weight. And then your NEAT will increase, your non-exercise activity. You'll have more energy. You'll want to move more. You'll want to walk more. You'll be just doing a little bit more physically. Your body temperature often increases as well, which burns a few extra calories per day. Here's what you should be wary of if you're going to be practicing this. If you have any questions, again, drop them here. Shoot me an email, nate@n8trainingsystems.com. If you're gaining more than 1 pound per week on this program and then over that 3-week period, that's not what we're looking for. That's a little too much, like 1 to 2 pounds a month. Okay. But if it's 1 pound, 2 pounds per week, you're going a bit hardcore. We don't need to go that deep. If you're 40 plus pounds, like I said before, this probably isn't the right time to get more relaxed. Just stay with the basics, follow the $1 Million Body, hit your walks on a regular basis. You're going to feel a lot better. And you really won't reach this sticking point. If you're 40 pounds plus overweight, you really won't reach the sticking point until you get under that weight level. Just so keep following like the glycogen priming method, the $1 Million Body, and walk enough. Okay. And if you wanted to, if you're still like, hey, well, how many calories should I have? I have like 56 pounds to lose. Well, then just multiply your body weight by 12 calories and start trying that out. Again, it's not an exact science. Everyone's a little bit different based on job, activity level, muscle mass, et cetera. But this is a great place to start to dial it in. So those are the things I would definitely be wary about if I was going to be starting with this. But this is something you can start doing right now. If you're listening to this as it releases, it's time for the holidays. We're going to be probably eating and drinking a lot more. So rather than feeling stressed out and worried about it, let's use this to our advantage. Let's use our holidays to really enjoy ourselves. And maybe this is something you schedule on a yearly basis. It could be great for you. However, if you're like right now, you actually feel like you've earned the right to do a cut, or you are planning on doing this and earning the right to do a cut and cut some calories, drop some fat, get some great results in January, then I'd highly recommend doing the $1 Million Body program. But if you need a break, then you hold off and wait on that. Like I said before, this is super, super valuable. All the nuggets I gave you in here are incredibly potent and powerful. And just because I'm giving away for free doesn't mean that I would not have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to have known this stuff back when I first started training. So don't sleep on this information. This is really, really potent stuff. Because when I was training clients, especially kind of like early years, 2011, 12, 13, I would diet and I felt miserable, and my clients, kind of like, that's how I was taught to do it. My clients felt the same. We're tracking all of our food, tracking our macros, eating health foods, a lot of chicken breast. No, thanks. We had brain fog. We just didn't feel good. Our workouts weren't that great. And our strength was low energy. It was rough. It didn't feel good. And it doesn't have to be that way. But with this method, if you hit those plateaus, you can actually get back to a predictable fat loss rhythm to gain a little bit of muscle during the 3 weeks, drop a little bit of fat. What will happen is hopefully your body weight stays about the same. But if you tested yourself, you would see, oh my goodness, I've lost a percentage of fat and I've gained 1% muscle. And that is so, so powerful and so valuable right there. So if you've been dieting for a long time, congratulations, you've earned the right to do this method. If you've been doing something like this, like I have over the last couple of weeks, congratulations, you've earned the right to do a cut. And if you are still kind of just stuck 40, 50, 60 pounds overweight, then let's stay with the basics. And if you have any questions about that, how you can actually stay dialed in with the $1 Million Body method and glycogen priming, drop me a note here, shoot me an email, Nate@n8trainingsystems, or reach out if you're looking to see how we could work together for free in December. I hope you are having an incredible day. I hope this was valuable to you. Please share it on social media. If you can tag me, that just gives me the ability to reach more people with this information that I'm constantly doing research on, putting out for free. So that would be the best Christmas gift that you could give to this guy. Other than that, have an amazing week. I'll talk to you very soon.